Hey guys, welcome back to our YouTube series here where we are teaching you how to speak the language of Shona. I'm excited to be going through this with you, and today actually closes the chapter of us learning how to make the sounds in this language, and in the future we're going to be touching on the actual words and what they mean. But today, as we close this chapter, we'll be learning how to make sounds using 3 consonants and 1 vowel. Okay, so to start with, we have a D, Z, V and a vowel. That makes Dzwa, Dzwe, Dzwi, Dzo, Dzu. And a common word that is used in the Shona language with this sound is Dvinyu. Next, we move on to D, Z, W and a vowel. That gives us Dzwa, Dzwe, Dzwi, Dzo, Dzu. A common word in the Shona language here is Dzwanya. Okay, moving on next, we have N, G, W and a vowel. That gives us Ngwa, Ngwe, Ngwi, Ngwo, Ngwu. A common word used in the Shona language with this sound, we have Ngwara. And now we move on next to T, S, V and a vowel. That gives us Tswa, Tswe, Tswi, Tso, Tsu. And the common word used in Shona is Trigiri. So I'm going to actually ask you guys to guess what Trigiri means out of these 3 options. Don't worry, at the end of the video I'll be telling you what Trigiri means. Okay, moving on next to T, S, W and a vowel. That gives us Tswa, Tswe, Tswi, Tso, Tsu. A common word we have in Shona here is Tswanya. Moving on next, we have a N, Z, V and a vowel. That gives us Nja, Nje, Nji, Njo, Nju. And the common word we have here is Njenga. And moving on to our very last sound that we have here for you is a N, Z, W and a vowel. That says Dzwa, Dzwe, Dzwi, Dzo, Dzu. And the common word that we have here for you guys is Inzwa, Inzwa. Okay guys, so we've reached the very end of our chapter where we are only going through the sounds made in the Shona language. Before we move on, I'm going to answer the question, what does Trigiri mean? It is... So with that being said, we're just going to do a quick recap before I let you guys go. We have Shona is a Bantu language. Bantu came from the Niger-Congo family tree. Bantu languages are like the Romance languages. So funny enough, the word Bantu in Shona is Vanu. In English, that's people. So we said Shona has many different dialects, but the 5 most common ones are Zezuru, Kore-Kore, Manyika, Ndau, and Karanga. So don't forget the basic housekeeping rules of Shona. No L, no X, no Q. Vowels control everything. You will say a vowel even if one comes after another. Like Zvaakaita, Makaenda, Zvaakandiitira. Each vowel is said separately. Very important for you to understand that the sounds don't change. When it is written one way, it will always sound the same way. Unlike elephant and farm, the way vowels are said are very, very specific. Unlike in English where doctor and calendar actually sound similar. Shona has some very rare whistling sounds in some of their words. For example, Tswe, Shwe, Nje, Dje. Please remember, don't confuse B-A, ba, and B-H-A, ba. Don't confuse D-A, da, and D-H-A, da. Don't confuse F-A, fa, and P-F-A, fa. And the R sounds in Shona are slightly different to the R sounds in English. In Shona we have ro, se. In English you have rose. And one easy way to remember how to make a sound that has a W in it. Please say the sounds of the other consonant first before you say the W. So now you have Zwa, Pwa, Wa, Nzwa. Okay guys, with that being said, that takes us to the very end of the video, and I'm very excited as we move on to our next chapter where we are going to be teaching you what certain words mean. Oh, before you leave, interesting fact about Zimbabwe that we have for you today is that Zimbabwe won their independence on April 18, 1980, and right on stroke of midnight, the statue of Cecil Rhodes was removed from the capital city. This is 20 years, 2 decades, after the native Zimbabweans had taken up arms in the Second Chimurenga, and just over a century after Cecil Rhodes had just landed in South Africa. This is 83 years after the lands of Ndebele and Shona were named Rhodesia by the British royal decree. So the Ndebele people were led by a strong man named Joshua Nkomo, and the Shona people were led by a strong man named Robert Mugabe. And together they put their differences aside and they took back their country from the British people. And to celebrate, guess who was invited to come and do a show in Zimbabwe on April 18, 1980? None other but Bob Marley. Now that's an interesting fact that closes the end of the chapter on how to make Shona sounds. Guys, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Kuda and I'll see you in the next video. This has been a pleasure and I'll see you in the... Guys, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Kuda. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. It's been a